Um, so today, what is going to happen is that we will be seeing the live webinar, and we're going to be following that with a live Q&A session. So please ask questions throughout the presentation so that we can ask them of the panel when they finish presenting. You can type them into the chat box on your control panel. I just want everyone to know that we are recording the session so that we'll have it available for people to view later on, as well as the PowerPoint will also be available on copelandcenter.com. So I think that gets rid of our housekeeping for today. And as I said, I'm so happy that so many of us could join today. And I know that some of you are very new to WRAP. So I wanted to just say a few words about it before we get started. WRAP stands for the Wellness Recovery Action Plan, and it really focuses on expanding we really focus on expanding people who use WRAP so all people can move forward in their wellness. It was traditionally developed by people who are having a hard time with mental health challenges, but as we've seen, it's moved into many, many different fields and really can be used for any challenge to work on any relationship or to deal with any sort of stressor, as well as any goals you might have. So it's a really great plan that's used by thousands of people around the world. And the Copeland Center is the main center that provides training and technical assistance around WRAP. So I am here with the very big honor of introducing Gina Calhoun, who is our Director for Recovery Education. So Gina has experience in the state mental hospital, and she attributes her recovery journey to supportive relationships that choose to focus on what's strong instead of what's wrong, and for the opportunity to work in a supportive environment where she is part of a team making a difference. Gina went on to become a peer specialist and serve on a committee to close the state hospital where she was institutionalized. Gina was awarded the Distinguished Advocates Award from Papyrus and chosen as the PA representative for the National Pillars of Peer Support Summit. In 2012, Gina won the Timothy J. Coakley Behavioral Health Leadership Award. This award honors consumers, family leaders in the behavioral health field whose work is characterized by the highest degree of integrity and passion for creative approaches for improving the lives of persons living with mental health challenges, especially in the public sector. And it's really an honor to work with Gina. And this has been a big project for her, bringing together these wonderful people we have with us today. We are also joined today by Laura Young. She's an individual disabilities program specialist from Franklin Fulton County in Pennsylvania. She's been in this field for 15 years, so obviously with a lot of experience with her. Her experience spans from the Special Olympics as a residential program provider, day program service provider, and now she's within county government. She received her degree from Penn State, and she is an advocate for rights for those with disabilities through bringing people together through improvement in living, employment, and community activities. So thank you both for being here, and I know that you're going to introduce the rest of our panelists for us today. So please take it over, Gina and Laura.
Thanks, Katie. Yay, we have a new workbook. I also want to give a special thank you and shout out to Ed and Mary Ellen Copeland for their hard work on this project. WRAP for People with Developmental Distinctions, as Katie said, is based off the Wellness Recovery Action Plan. It is intended for people that may enjoy workbook-style learning, and especially for people that live everyday lives by learning outside our traditional academic status quo. This workbook uses simple but profound language to guide a person to develop his or her own plan to stay as happy and healthy as possible. It can also be used as a plan to support a person to move toward a self-identified life goal, like getting a job, getting your driver's license. I just heard Nikki was very close. Learning to play a new sport. I personally have a WRAP that helps me to live beyond my mental health challenges. I used the Wellness Recovery Action Plan to help me quit smoking, and I'm currently living WRAP to help me stay as well as possible while I'm working full time. So I really believe in the entire WRAP process. Just a few things to remember before we actually get started. The only person that can write my WRAP is me. The only person that can write your WRAP is you. You and only you decide if you want to write a WRAP, which parts you want to do and which parts you don't want to do, who will support you in developing and living your Wellness Recovery Action Plan, and how you do it through words, pictures, recording your own voice, and for all of you techno geniuses, we even have a WRAP app. As one of our experts by experience, Rachel said, she said, wow, this is cool. This is a book all about a happy, healthy me, and I get to write my own happy, healthy story. Some pretty wise words. Nikki, Sue, Rachel, and Christopher, who supported Mary Ellen in co-authoring this new workbook, asked me this question. We got together and they took a look at the WRAP document and they said, oh my goodness, Gina, this is going to take a lot of time and I have to develop a whole lot of lists. Why would I want to do that? After a conversation, we decided yes, writing and living our WRAP could help us to stay as healthy and happy as possible. But we also discovered that writing and living WRAP could help us learn new things about ourselves. I am so excited that we have all of our co-authors with us today, and I'd like each to have an opportunity to introduce themselves by answering this question. What do you like about WRAP? So we'll start off with Rachel. Rachel, the quote she gave us for the workbook is, I like everything about WRAP. I want to be a WRAP facilitator because I'm a person who likes to share and we can learn from each other. So Rachel, you have done a lot of work with WRAP. You were part of WRAP for Kids. You developed your own Wellness Recovery Action Plan. You helped us with this workbook. And you were part of the WRAP Girls group with Nikki, Sue, and me. So what do you like about WRAP?
Well, hopefully some people who love doing WRAP will learn how to do it and enjoy it, because if people enjoy WRAP so much, make them a part of the environment. Because anytime you want to, you can ask somebody who had already done it, me, Dina, or Laura, if anybody wants to do it, come to one of us and we show you what to do.
Okay, so what I'm hearing from Rachel is, one, you love it, and you're hoping that anyone that's interested in WRAP could be part of the WRAP community and enjoy the experience with you, and you're willing to reach out and support people if they want to know more about WRAP. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you, Rachel. Next is Christopher. The quote that Christopher gave us for the workbook is, I would tell others who are sad or in pain to be patient. It takes time and you will get through it. Have hope. I feel better when I support others. So Mr. Christopher, you and I got together in the pizza shop to talk about Wellness Recovery Action Planning. So besides the great pizza, what do you like about WRAP?
It helps me to learn by helping other people.
Amazing. So the mutual support, it helps you to learn as you support and help other people.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you, Christopher. Next, we have Nikki. So if you're looking at the slide on the screen, Nikki is the person in the peach and gray t-shirt. And this is the quote she gave us for the workbook. This was enjoyable, and I got to think about who I am. I also like the support of friends in our group. So, Nikki, you were part of our Rap Girls group. You, me, Rachel, and Sue. What was that experience like for you?
Pretty good. I enjoyed getting to know each of our issues, and it helps to help each other with our issues.
Yeah. So it was pretty good. You liked getting to know what was going on in other people's lives, and you liked the mutual support where we were all supporting each other.
Right.
Beautiful. Thanks, Nikki. And our finale. All right, everyone in the room, drum roll, please. All right, is Sue. Sue is the person on the PowerPoint screen that has a gray t-shirt on. This is the quote she gave us for the workbook. It made me think about myself in ways I had not done so before, and I got to learn how I can support others in my small group. And Sue, you're right. You were a great supporter in our Rap Girls group. What else do you like about rap?
Well, I like the idea that people can gain some insight, or they can maybe use what I've said or written to help themselves. And I also like the idea of working as a group, and with my daughter beside me here. We can work together, and it was an awesome experience. I hope people learn from it.
Nice. Thanks, Sue. So you said a lot first. The group helped everyone to gain self-awareness, a little insight into themselves. We were able to support each other, and it was nice to go through the rap group with your daughter because you already offer each other mutual support. Yeah, beautiful. So now I am going to turn it over to Laura, who is going to give us a sneak peek into what's inside the rap workbook.
Okay, so if you take a look at the RAP workbook for people with developmental distinctions, there are 9 distinct sections. The cornerstone of your RAP is your wellness toolbox, which is the first one. It gives us ideas to use when developing the rest of our whole plan. Next, we'll explore our vision of wellness by defining how I feel when I feel good. Then we'll make a list of all the things to do every day to keep feeling good. And then we're going to make a list of the things we need or want to do sometimes. Then we're going to move on to discuss stressful events and action plans, early warning signs and action plans, and when I feel really awful, and action plans. And your action plan is when we're going to tie back to the wellness toolbox to decide how we're going to make ourselves feel better when we have those other sections in the stressful events and signs. Finally, there's a crisis plan and a post-crisis plan. And we won't have time to review those today, but we are planning a second webinar in March dedicated to the crisis plan and the post-crisis plan of the workbook. So let's get started. Our wellness toolbox. So what is a wellness toolbox? For those of you who like to fix things, a toolbox holds all of your tools like your hammer, your screwdrivers, your wrenches, and pliers. Your wellness toolbox is a list of all the things you can do to be happy and healthy. This list can be a list of words, a list of pictures, of drawings, however you can use it. These things should be simple. Like, for example, for me, one of my wellness tools that is simple is visiting with my grandchildren. And so it's a very simple tool that I can use. They should be free or low cost. Again, for me, it's taking a walk. It doesn't cost me anything to go out and take a walk. Safe, and why it sounds silly, for me, when I'm really stressed and everything's going really bad, I need a soda. And so that's a safe wellness tool. It's not hurting anybody, and I'm going to drink my soda. And available to do. And that, again, for me, that's crocheting. I'll have some of my crocheting in my truck, some in my house, some in my kid's house, just so it's always there for me to be able to use. But one of my most useful and favorite wellness tools is going to work in the garden. And I don't know where all of you are from right now, but here up in Pennsylvania, we've had lots of snow. So I haven't been in the garden lately. But when I can get into the garden, I go to work off any of my excess feelings and think things through, and it always makes me feel better. So it's one of my better wellness tools. Yeah. So our experts by experience today have all agreed to share their RAP plan lists with us, and we would like to thank all of them for their willingness so we can all learn better together. So what are some other wellness tools?
All right, you've already done this. Why do I have to keep doing
Sometimes
this?
you may have trouble thinking of wellness tools. There are some questions, these are some questions that you can ask yourself. Our RAP team is going to give us some examples of their wellness tools. So Sue, what is one of your wellness tools that is something you like to do?
Well, I like to write stories. I like to attend my special blessings group. That helps also. And I like to talk. So I'm a supportive person, support line that will help me get over my problems.
Okay, so you like to write stories as a wellness tool, and you like to talk with supporters or people you can support. And you like to go to your special blessings group. Okay, so those are really good wellness tools. Nikki, what is one of your wellness tools that you do to stay healthy?
I talk to my mom when I get stressed out and stuff. I like to go to church, special blessing church and Sunday school.
Okay, so you like to talk to your mom and go to church and special blessings group, okay, and Sunday school. So those are good wellness tools to help stay healthy. Christopher, what's one of your wellness tools that's something about where you like to live?
I like to live at home because I can take
All right, it's a bit much for me.
time
It's cold in here.
and
And
I can
have a dinner. Having dinner.
help take care of maintain my own stuff.
So you like to live at home,
So we like
so you can take time to help your staff and everybody who helps you.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good wellness tool. And Rachel, if you could do anything at all, what's a wellness tool that you would do? What's your favorite thing to do?
Here, bud. Buddy. Buddy. Buddy.
Make you go show it.
Rachel makes me go to Sonic once a month, so she says that's one of her wellness tools is to go to Sonic. So, okay. So let's go on. Here are some more questions to ask yourself to develop some of your wellness tools. Rachel, what's one wellness tool that's an activity that you can do without asking anybody for permission? You can do it all by yourself.
Well, again, email.
Email, that's a good one. So you can go on the computer and email people without
How do you
asking
know?
for permission. Just a lucky guess. So, Christopher, what's one wellness tool that's an activity you can do without asking for permission?
Facebook.
Facebook. So you can get on Facebook without asking for permission. That's a good
I
one.
am a Facebook friend of Christopher's.
And Nikki, who makes you happy when you are with them?
When we do this, we need to add flour, but we want to
One person.
My mom.
Your mom. And what can you do with your mom?
Watch TV, talk, and discuss things that upset.
Okay, so Nikki can talk to her mom about things that upset her and watch TV or just talk about things in general. And so her mom is one of her good supporters. And Sue, who makes you happy when you are with them?
My daughter,
Nikki. And what do you guys do together besides watch TV and talk?
We go shopping. We like to go out and have pizza.
Oh, there we
After
go.
we pay bills. We love to go out and have pizza.
Okay, so you like to go out to eat, especially pizza, and go shopping.
The one thing I'd like to add, I'd like to help me and her teach Sunday school children.
There you
So
go.
that would be another thing to add.
Yep, that's another wellness tool, teaching Sunday school as a team. So that's sort of a mutual support there. And so that's really good. So one thing to remember, thank you for those examples, but one thing to remember is you can always change your wellness toolbox. It doesn't have to stay the same. We can add more tools to it or take off those that don't work anymore. So next, Gina is going to tell us all about the next section of wrap.
Before we go to the next section of wrap, I'm going to ask Katie for a little bit of support. We're hearing some feedback from somebody else's computer here in the room. I'm not sure if you can make sure everyone's on mute. That would be great.
That wasn't coming from your
Are you with me?
computer?
That wasn't coming from ours.
It looks like you're the only one unmuted.
Okay, thanks, Katie. All right, so the next section of wrap is called When You Feel Good. And for this section, we have decided to use our workbooks. So if you've already had the opportunity to purchase a workbook, you can turn to page 10 and 11 with us. So now that you have your list of wellness tools, you want to think about how you feel when you feel really good, your personal vision of wellness. So for example, when I feel really good, I have balanced energy. I'm not a bumblebee in a tin can with the lid on, buzzing all over the place, not getting anything accomplished. I'm also not in bed with the covers pulled over my head, unable or unwilling to enter the day. I have balanced energy, and I'm able to pay attention to things. So, Nikki, how do you feel? 2 examples of how you feel when you feel really good.
Very happy and singing and dancing.
Nice. Happy and singing and dancing. Thanks, Nikki. Rachel, 2 examples of how you feel when you feel really good.
I wake up, I get out of bed, have a lot of pep in me.
Okay, you wake up, you get out of bed, and you got a lot of pep in you. Thank you, Rachel. Sue, when you're having a good day, how do you feel?
I feel closer to God, and I feel short.
Okay, you feel euphoric and closer to God. Thanks, Sue. And Christopher, how about you? How do you feel on a really good day? You talk more?
Yeah.
You have another example of how you feel when you feel good?
I get excited.
All right, so you talk more and you get excited. Nice. Thanks, Christopher. So in the wrap workbook, people have an opportunity to list words, write a paragraph, and or paste photographs of themselves when they're feeling really good, when they're having a good day. So if you look at the PowerPoint on the screen, Nikki is having a really good day at a Christmas party. The next section of wrap is called the things to do every day. So looking back over your wellness tools, you make a list of the things you need to do every single day to stay happy and healthy. A list of the wellness tools you need to do every day to keep looking like you just described. This is a short list, so we can make sure we can do all the things on it every day. So Sue, what is one thing you need to do every day to stay healthy?
Take medications.
Take your medications. Rachel, what is one thing you need to do every day to stay healthy?
Eat, brush my hair.
Okay. Eat, brush your hair, and brush your teeth. Thank you, Rachel. Christopher, I'm going to change the question. So what is one thing you need to do every day to stay happy?
Just get up, decide what chair to take and what I need to do for that day.
Okay, so get up, get out of bed, decide which chair is going to work for your plans for the day, the manual chair or the power chair.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you. And Nikki, what is one thing you need to do every single day to stay happy?
I guess decide what I'm going to be doing today.
Okay. So like Christopher, you have to have a plan for the day.
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks, Nikki. So we have 3 lists so far. We have a list of our wellness tool. We have a list that describes us when we're feeling good. And we have a list of things we must do every single day. The next list is a might need to do or might want to do list. So there are some things you don't need to do every day, but you need to do them sometimes. Weekly, monthly, yearly. For example, I love my home. If I want electricity in my home and I want the garbage collectors to take my trash, every month I need to pay my bills. That's something that might be on this list. Also included in this list are the wellness tools that you love, but you don't get to do very often. For example, I love to go hiking, but sometimes I get so busy in my day, I forget to get off my rear end, get outside, and hike in the woods. I put that on this list as well because then I remember to do that. So Christopher, what is something you love to do, but you don't get to do very often? Go out to eat. So that would go on the things to do sometimes list. Yeah, thanks, Christopher. Nikki, something you love to do, but don't get to do very often.
Go to the movies, I guess you could say.
Okay, go to the movies. Thanks, Nikki. Sue.
Oh, I like to go to the beach. It doesn't happen very often, but I'm not a swimmer now. I don't like waves. I like to stick my feet in the water.
Okay.
I just know that I'm in the ocean.
Okay, so every once in a great while, you like to go to the beach, but not to swim, just to kind of stick your feet in the water. Excellent. And Rachel, what's something you love to do, but don't get to do very often?
Go to art with Laura.
Go to
And
art.
and they hug Kate and Janet.
Okay, so go to Arc with Laura, a key supporter, and afterwards go to Sonic to get something to eat. Nice.
I make her drive food.
Okay, so she's your driver, huh? All right, very nice. I am going to turn it over to Laura, and we're going to move to the next section of wrap.
Okay, our next section is stressful events, which are sometimes called triggers. And a stressful event or a trigger is something that happens to you, that you see happening around you, or that you hear about that makes you feel bad, upset, or some other kind of emotion that you just don't want to feel and you don't like. For example, I'm getting ready to go somewhere, I'm in my car, I'm on my way, and there's road construction or something that's going to slow me down, so I'm going to be late. If I'm going to be late, that's a very stressful event for me. And I will feel frustrated for the rest of the day. So that's a stressful event. So, Rachel, can you tell me what a stressful event is for you?
When I had the doctor appointment.
Okay, so going to the doctors is a stressful event for you.
When I went to the doctor to see about me coming.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't like TPA,
Right. And how did that make you feel?
Made me want to sleep a lot.
You wanted to sleep a lot, and so because you weren't feeling very good, right? Okay. So, Sue, what is a stressful event that you've had?
Well, as a fire, a child, and I cannot light matches. If anybody has to have a candle lit or anything, it can't be me. It's very, very stressful. It was a bad fire, and
Okay.
yes, I had a hard time with that.
And how does that make you feel?
Very scared. I want to run away from the area. I want to curl under a ball and just kind of hide there, to get away.
Right. Okay, and Nikki, what's a stressful event for you?
Getting a letter to be on jury.
So getting a letter for jury duty is stressful for you. So, and how is that stressful?
Because I know that I can't do it,
Mm-hmm.
and so it stresses me out to the point where I feel like I'm gonna pass out.
Yeah, so you're a little, it makes you a little anxious when you get that letter for jury duty.
Yeah, it terrifies me.
Yeah. Okay. Terrified. That's even a better word. And Christopher, what's a stressful event for you?
talking on the phone.
So talking on the landline, right?
Yeah.
Telephone. Okay. So we all have these stressful events, and thank you for sharing, because sometimes it's hard to share what a stressful event is for you. And so I'm happy to share about it. So now we're looking at it. We've made this list of what a stressful event and what our stressful triggers are. So what are we going to do about them? We're going to develop an action plan. So this is where we're going to dig back into our wellness toolbox, because the stressful event action plan is going to use our wellness tools to help us feel better. So you're going to look at those wellness tools and find one or two that you can use in that situation that will make you feel better. For example, if I know I'm going to be late once I arrive at my destination, because I've been told it's illegal to call my daughters on the telephone while I'm driving. So once I arrive at my destination, I'm going to call my daughters so I can vent a little bit, because I know that she'll listen and I know that I will feel better afterwards. And so even though I'm still late, but it eases so I'm not frustrated the rest of the day. So Rachel, what was a wellness tool you could use on Friday when you weren't feeling so good and had to go to the doctors? What's one of your wellness tools you could have used? Did you talk to anybody?
No.
No. Did you tell the doctor what was going on?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did it?
Me too.
Okay, so you talked to the doctor and self-advocated so he could help you, make you feel better? Right, and you also talked to mom, and mom helped you and supported you? There you go. Those are good wellness tools to use. And Sue, if somebody's lighting candles or matches in the fire, and what is a wellness tool you can use?
I can get away from the situation. I can tell them why I'm stressed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if it's somewhat like if my daughter's near, I can hang on to her and she can be supportive of me.
So you can look for a supporter, either your daughter, and talk to them or hang on to them or hold their hand or whatever to help ease that fear, or you can just get away from the situation completely. Those are good wellness tools to use too. Nikki, when you got the letter for jury duty, what was wellness tools you used?
Calling the doctor to have them write the letters to dismiss me.
Mm-hmm.
I think that word is.
That's correct.
And talk to my mom.
So you
and to pray.
Yep. So you talk to your mom and you use some prayer as one of your wellness tools, and you also then talk to your doctor and self-advocated so he could write you a note so you didn't have to do jury duty. Right. Those are good wellness tools too. And Christopher, what's a wellness tool you can use when you have to talk on the phone on the landline?
Say, email.
Have people email you?
Yeah, instead of calling.
Ask people to email instead of calling. That's a great wellness tool. And so that's a great one to use. And so those are really good wellness tools. So next, Gina's going to take us through early warning signs.
So we talked about triggers or stressful events that come from the outside. It's stuff that happens to you that you see or hear about that causes you to feel badly. Now we're going to move on to early warning signs. So early warning signs are body signs, stuff happening with your body, head to toe, inside and out. Sometimes you may notice that you feel badly and you don't know why. Like you're starting to get a stomach ache, or for me, I start worrying about things that don't usually worry me. Early warning signs say pay attention, catch those first signs that say, hey, wait a minute, things are not quite right. So you can take action right away to feel better and better. So we're going to start with Nikki. Nikki, what is one of those first signs that let you know that things are not quite right?
Panic attacks, I get it.
Okay, panic attacks.
And worrying and stuff.
Okay, panic attacks and worrying. Thanks, Nikki. Sue.
Well, I get impulsive. I might want to buy stuff at the store that I really don't need. And I don't have it on here, but my talking gets louder and faster. I had someone tell me one time, you're on the phone, you don't have to go to my house.
Okay, so impulsive, and your talking gets louder and faster. All right. My talking is always loud and fast, but what might be an early warning sign for you might not be for me, and that's what makes RAP individualized. So that's a great example. Rachel, what is one of the first signs that let you know that you're not feeling too good?
You tell your mom again.
Okay. And what would be the sign that would allow you to go tell your mom you're not feeling so good? What would be happening? Not sure?
No getting no sleep.
Oh, so you're not getting enough sleep. Thank you, Rachel. And Christopher, what is one of those first signs that tell you that you're not too well?
When I talk, something about.
Okay, so when you are talking less and less and less. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Christopher. So like triggers or stressful events, once you identify those first signs, the next thing you want to do is take action. So when I start worrying about everything, one of the things I do is I take a walk. The left to right physical activity of walking, left foot, right foot, helps me to balance my left to right brain activity, which gives me a sense of centeredness and peace. So I am going to let you in on a secret. Pacing the floor is one of my favorite wellness tools.
Not me.
And that's Rachel too. Is that a favorite wellness tool for you too?
Because when I read on the doctor on Friday, your pet say, Mom said, what are you doing? And I said, my dad said, look at her. And she said, she paint all over the.
Okay, so pacing's a wellness tool for you too. We have that in common. So Nikki, you said your early warning sign was worrying and or panic attacks. So when you're starting to have that real worry or the panic attacks, what is one thing you can do for yourself to begin feeling better?
Talk to my mom.
Talk to your mom. So talk to a key supporter, specifically your mom. Great. Sue, when you're starting to get a little bit impulsive and your voice is starting to get louder and faster, what is one thing you can do for yourself to begin feeling better?
Call a supporter or a helpline. Nikki, sometimes I have helplines that I can call.
Okay, great. So you can call a supporter, and if your key supporters are not available, you have access to some helplines. Great, and that's a great resource. So Rachel, you're just not getting enough sleep. What is one thing you can do to begin to feel better?
I stay in bed and sleep a lot.
Okay, so you take a nap, you stay in bed, and you sleep when you can. Thank you, Rachel. All right, Christopher. So when you're feeling good, you're talkative. One of your early warning signs is you don't talk as much. You begin to pull back.
Yeah.
So what is one thing you can do for yourself when you are talking less and less?
Tell them to call the doctor.
Okay, so some self-advocacy. Go to your mom, talk it out, and then have her call the doctor. Yeah, very nice, very nice. So now I'm going to turn it over to Laura, who is going to go over when things are really awful.
Okay, so sometimes you just feel really, really awful. You may know why you feel awful because something happened, or you may not. You just woke up and feel really, really awful. So you want to start this list with the feelings and behaviors that mean that things are really awful. Okay? But again, when you are feeling this way, you can look at your wellness tools and do things that can help you feel better. So you're going to take action again. Sometimes you feel better very, very fast when you start doing your wellness tools, and sometimes it takes a longer time and more wellness tools to use. I know that when things are really, really awful for me, I feel like I don't care about anything anymore, and I don't want to leave my house. I'm just going to stay in. So that's my feelings and my behaviors. And so at these times, I look at my wellness toolbox and I notice that girls' night out is one of my wellness tools. And that's when my daughters and my granddaughters and we all go out and do something. And so I schedule a girls' night out and make sure one of my kids is going to come pick me up so we can go. And the other one I use is prayer, because I find prayer and that self-reflection will help me to overcome and start caring again. So our RAP team here today has actually agreed to share some times when they felt really, really awful. And I'd like to thank them in advance, because I know that sometimes when we say things that make us feel really, really awful, it brings back some bad memories or some bad feelings. So we're going to ask each one of them to express a time when they felt really, really awful, and then some of the tools they use to get over it. So Nikki, why don't we start with you? Do you want to tell us a time you felt really, really awful?
When my great-grandmother passed away.
Okay. And how did you feel then? What were you doing?
Crying.
Mm-hmm.
And eating not that much.
So you weren't eating a lot when your great-grandmother passed away, and you were crying because she was very special to you, right?
She was like a second mom.
So she was like a second mom. So that time was really hard for you. What were some wellness tools that you could have used during that time?
I used my mom helped me through it.
Mm-hmm.
And therapists, and family and friends.
So you talked to your therapist, your mom, and your family and friends, and you had a lot of support during that time to help you get through that.
Yes.
So thank you, Nikki. Christopher, what's a time when you felt really, really awful?
That's when I felt bad. I had to go to the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Severe stomach pain.
Yeah.
So you had a lot of pain and you were really feeling bad, and you had to go to the doctor. So you hurt. And from what I understand, when you told me about it before, that lasted for a long time.
Yeah.
Right. Right. And the doctors were having trouble finding out what was wrong.
Yeah.
So sort of frustrating too.
Yeah.
Okay. What was a wellness tool you could use at that time?
Just some medicine took care of it.
Okay, so some medicine eventually took care of it. And did anybody help you during that time?
The doctors and they wanted to.
The doctors helped you?
Yeah.
You told me we took you to doctors until we found out.
Okay, so you just kept, and your mom, you kept persevering, and you and your mom kept going to the doctors until you could figure out what was wrong.
And I believe that you were able to self-advocate at one point, because you said, no, you're not going to put a camera down in my stomach.
Yeah.
Yep. So you had some self-advocacy there too. Those are really good wellness tools to use. And Rachel, what's a time when you felt really, really awful? Want to share a time?
When I was really when I'm really sick, like, I lay around a lot.
So when you were really, really sick, and so what were you feeling at that time? You just laid around, you didn't want to go do anything? And if you don't know Rachel, she's real energetic most of the time. So for her to just lay around not do anything, that's really feeling awful.
Yeah, because last couple weeks, this past week, I was laying around.
And you were really sick last week, weren't you? And laying around not doing anything. What were some wellness tools you used last week when you were really feeling bad?
My mom made me. My mom made me kind of.
Were you playing some games?
My mom made me go to the doctor.
So you went to the doctors, okay? What'd you eat?
Something that did not believe.
No, I meant what did you eat to help you feel better?
Mm,
Did you eat toast?
no.
No, we didn't eat toast today. How about guess the word? Did you play guess the word to help take your mind off of it? That's a game you really like. Okay. Well, again, I would really like to. And Sue, sorry, I almost forgot. So, Sue, what's the time you felt really, really awful?
Well, when I was a child and up till just several years back, I had some abuse issues from one or two people, and it was sometimes physical and sometimes emotional, and I get flashbacks from these things.
Okay.
I mean, it's ended now, but I get flashbacks, and I do. I feel just awful. I feel horrible, just like when I had it happen to me again.
So you thought you were back in that situation, right? And that didn't make you feel good at all. And so what are some wellness tools when that's happening that you can use?
Well, I can always, I can pray.
Mm-hmm.
I don't usually talk to my daughter about abuse. I usually get on a self-help line or some kind of line like that, a supportive line. I have a therapist, so
you talk to your therapist.
I can do it well with these helping.
And the helpline, so you have lots of support through those times, and you use prayer. So and those are really good wellness tools. Now I'd like to thank everybody for sharing, since I almost forgot Sue, and that would have been a big oversight. But I'd like to thank everybody for sharing again, because it's really hard sometimes to say when it's really, really feeling awful what to use. Okay, so when you are really feeling awful, we want you not to give up. Use as many wellness tools as you need. And so sometimes you may only need to use one or two. Sometimes you may need to use lots. Sometimes it'll go away real fast. Sometimes, again, it'll take a little bit longer. So we also want you to remember to do all the things on your things to do every day list. Okay? When you turn back in that list of your wrap plan, and make sure you do all those things. And you may also want to look at your when you feel good section, so you can remember what it felt like when you felt good. So don't give up is the biggest thing we want you to remember, because you can do it. Using your wrap. Okay, we've written all these lists. We've written all these action plans. Now what are we going to do with them? Your wrap will only work if you use it. You could start by looking at it every day to remember what you wrote down, especially that list, things to do every day. You may want to carry it with you, so if you can refer to it anytime if you come into a situation, so you can carry your workbook with you or however you did your wrap. Here in Franklin County, we're actually going to make wallets, and in those wallets, we're going to put our wellness tools in the sections of our wraps so we can carry them with us at all times. So we find ourselves in a situation where we need a wellness tool or we need to look at part of our wrap plan, we can pull out that wallet and find what will work for us. So this will help us take care of ourselves and feel better really, really quickly. So what if you need someone to help you with your wrap? What if I need somebody to help me with my wrap? Gina's going to talk about this next.
So you may find it easier to use your wrap if you have people in your life who care about you, do fun things with you, and can help you out in those difficult times. It can be family, friends, neighbors, or even professionals. It really should be someone you can talk to and who will listen to what you have to say. So I'm going to ask you one final question, and I know this is Rachel's favorite section of RAP. So I'm going to ask Rachel first. Rachel, who is one of your key supporters?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay, Cindy. And what does Cindy do that's helpful?
Well, she wants sexual blessing class for so long.
Okay, so she's one of those teachers that you really value. Thanks, Rachel. Sue, besides your daughter, who is one of your key supporters?
My friend Carla.
Okay, and what does Carla do that's helpful?
We go plan trips to go away from the town, away from everything, and we window shop, and we have a good time.
All right, so you just get away, window shop, and have a good time together. And that is important to note, that key supporters are not only there for you during difficult times, you guys also share the good times together as well. So that's great. Nikki, who is one of your key supporters?
Besides my mom?
Besides your mom.
That's tough. I can always talk to my one friend Jen, who's like a sister to me.
Okay, so Jen, and a lot of times you guys just get into a good conversation, talking with each other. Nice.
Yes.
And Christopher, who is one of your key supporters? Charlie, all right. And what does Charlie do that's helpful?
He lets me go to finish maybe the
He goes with you and
cold digger.
So I'm hearing you and Charlie work together a lot between doing the menus and calling bingo, and you guys are kind of partners and colleagues. Yes, very nice. Thank you. And people get excited when we talk about support. So we had a side conversation here in the room about all the wonderful supports that we're surrounded by. And that's very, very helpful. So as we begin thinking about crisis planning, good supporters are very important. Wouldn't you all agree? Yes. I like to think about support as a wellness tool. And I personally find it helpful to talk with someone I trust and to stay away from all the people that treat me badly. I know we are quickly running out of time. So I'll just let you know, on March 27th, we will be exploring the crisis and post-crisis plan, specifically for people that learn and or communicate differently than you do. We're also going to highlight the last chapter of the new workbook, which is tips for supporters. Mary Ellen did just such a brilliant job at writing a chapter that if we are invited by the person to support him or her in developing a RAP, how can we increase our connection with that person by interacting well, allowing the person to have power over their life, and listening with new ears? So Katie, that's about all we have here in our room. Do you want to finish up and summarize for us?
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone, for sharing your parts of your RAP plans. It's been really interesting to hear about what different people do for their wellness tools and as action plans when things are difficult. So it's been very informational to hear people talk about what they have put in their own plans. So thank you, everyone. And thank you to Gina and Lori, who moderated the session for us. As you can see, RAP works for a variety of different challenges and things that come up. And we can see that this has been a very rich process of thinking through our wellness. And those sorts of things. So I think we do have the time to take one or two questions if anyone has questions that are coming in. I know that something that's been asked over and over again is will the PowerPoint presentation be available? And we will have that on our website, as well as confirmation of the next webinar, which is going to be on March 27th. I should also tell everyone that additionally we are planning in the planning stages for a wrap for people with developmental distinctions as an in-person training. So we will have information on that soon, hopefully by the next webinar. So if anyone has any questions that they'd like to ask the panel, please do type those in.
Katie, are you seeing the questions on your screen?
I am.
Okay.
So I have a few comments, but not so many questions yet. But I'll start with Amy's. She says, I have to tell you, I really love the term developmental distinctions. And John says, wow, what a great webinar. Do participants have any specific mediums that they enjoy using when working in their workbooks that they would like to share with us?
Okay, so, and I did notice that the sound was low most of the time. I hope you were able to get as much of the webinar as was important to you. So the question for you four is, when you are developing your wrap, do you like to use words, pictures, the computer? Do you like to record? How do you like to develop your wrap? Or all of those? All of them. Yeah. Christopher's our computer expert here in the room. So he likes pictures and words and just any medium he can get a hold of.
Great. Well, I do have a couple more questions coming in now that we're wrapping up. One is from Jennifer, and she asks, how is wrap different from person-centered plans?
And if I may address that very quickly, and then I'm going to turn it over to Laura because she has experience with both. So person-centered planning, as I know it, is a plan that basically your professional support team develops with you so that you can move towards your own self-identified goals. The great distinction between person-centered planning and wrap is the person develops their own wellness recovery action plan. They get to choose who sees it and who doesn't, if anyone. And the person gets to live the wrap in a way that's going to work for them. So the plan is actually owned by the person. The plan is the person's plan, no one else's. And if they choose to show it to you, that's great. But it's up to them to make that choice.
I was going to say, I have to agree with that. I was going to say the biggest difference is with the person-centered plan, it's in a lot of states, it's required so that the person is a part of it, the person gets to express it, but it's seen by all the professionals who are helping that person to live the life they want. Whereas with the wrap plan actually is written for that person. It's voluntary. The person doesn't have to, so it's not regulated. And that the person then gets to share it with who he or she wants to share the plan with. It doesn't have to be the whole team of people who are a part of that.
That was a great question, though.
I have another great question here from Vicky, who asks, how does it make you feel to have a wrap plan that is special to you?
Okay, so that is for our 4 experts by experience. So how does it make you feel to have your own individual plan that works for you? Great.
If it fits us.
Since
it fits us.
I like that answer. So Sue said great, and Nikki said great because I wrote it so it fits me. Christopher, Rachel? How does it feel to have your own plan?
Well, if you have your own plan, you can use your own plan and anything in and just make it yours. And it describes all about you and what are you. And I think that when you have your own wellness toolbox like some people have, and use your toolbox each day because you might be able to teach somebody else.
Wow. Okay. So I'm going to see if I can capture all that, Rachel. Let me know if I missed anything. So you like it because it's your plan. It's all about you. You get to write it and you get to use it. And it's especially important for you to use your wellness toolbox every day to stay happy and well. Did I capture that pretty well? Yeah. All right. Thanks, Rachel. Christopher.
It helps me to help other people with their problems, and so the book helps me to look where I can help them cope with.
Okay. Yeah. So first of all, Christopher said that having his own plan helps him, but also in helping to co-author the workbook, it was his way of reaching out and being able to support other people that are going through a difficult time. So if somebody else is struggling, you can be the evidence that you can get well and stay well through WAP. Is that right? Yeah. All right.
Cool. Gina, how many more questions do you think we can take?
We are getting pretty tired here in the room.
Okay.
So we're having a lot of sidebar conversations and we're just really tired. So how about one more question? That said, if people have specific questions for Laura, myself, Nikki, Sue, Christopher, or Rachel, they can email them to me and I will make sure the right person gets the right questions.
Great. Well, thank you so much for that offer, Gina. I'll type Gina's email address in so that you all can have it. So we'll just go with one last quick question. Thank you so much, everyone, for sending your questions in, but I think we just have time for one more. So this one's from Robert, and he asks, if you have identified a person with developmental distinctions and they want to get trained in RAP, what is the process to get them trained officially?
Oh, Robert, I love the question. So the workbook just came out, and the Copeland Center is working with some of our key partners that have a lot of experience with working with people that learn and or communicate maybe differently than you do. And we're going to pull together a team of people to help us develop a curriculum that meets with RAP and Copeland Center standards, but will also work in supporting people that have developmental distinctions to go on and become RAP facilitators and help us to really get this out to all people everywhere. Well, and I'm getting tired too, so I am babbling.
Well, thank you all so much for joining us. We really appreciate having these wonderful presenters here, as well as people taking the time to learn more about using RAP for people with developmental distinctions. So we will be wrapping up, but it is, please do mark your calendars for March 27th. And as I said, we will also be having on the schedule by then the in-person training. So hopefully you'll consider signing up for that as well. So thank you again so much, all of you. It really is an honor working with you guys and your dedicated work to improving wellness within your lives and sharing that with others. So thank you. Any last statements, Gina, Laura, all the rest of you folks?
Rachel has one last statement.
Yeah, they are, we hopefully in October we will be presenting the WAP new book in October. Hopefully,
all right. So Rachel's saying hopefully by October. that the team here in the room, Rachel, Nikki, Sue, and Christopher, want to help in marketing this new book all over the place. So they're available for presentations. And our entire RAP team wanted to say something together. So I'm going to allow that to happen as well. That's a wrap.
Well, thank you so much, guys. And we do look forward to staying in touch with everyone who's been on the webinar today. Thank you and have a wonderful day.